I'm so stressed. All right.
That's the energy we need. Hey, everyone.
I'm so stressed. All right.
Queen's a widow
Queen's a
stressed.
widow stressed. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of We Don't Watch Movies, featuring me, Queen.
Wow. And me, Monze. You can't
Woo!
make my name because it's
Yeah.
got such hard consonant
There's no
sounds.
R. um.
I can't do it. That's me trying to. My name.
It's just woo. Okay, Monty Lozano. You did for the last name.
Monty Wozano.
Oh,
Yeah, because
I'll
I got the
definitely.
L
Yeah.
Wozano.
Okay. Today we are talking about Raya and the Last Dragon because surprisingly, Monty still hasn't seen it yet.
I
So.
know. Pox upon my family.
No.
No, please no.
No, we don't want that.
We've been poxed enough, thank you very much.
Pockies, no poxes. Um. Okay, so Monty, please tell me why haven't you seen this movie?
Okay, so when this movie came out, obviously peak pandemic time,
Mm-hmm.
and I had wanted to watch this movie before this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they had the option, like, you can go see it in theaters, or you can pay $1 bajillion to Disney Premiere
Mm-hmm.
on Disney Plus and watch it. And I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, so we're just gonna wait. And my mom was like, when are we gonna watch this? I'm like, well, we need to wait because we're not going to the theaters. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so we gotta wait. Anyway, flash forward to when my entire family ditched me. Remember that?
I remember
They
that.
went to Texas.
Yeah.
You remember when they all ditched me?
I remember.
And so it was just So I was just here alone, whatever. And it was around that time that the movie was off Premiere Access and it was on regular Disney.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, when they come back, I'll watch the movie with them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they come back and they were like, oh yeah, we watched that. And I was like, what?
Oh.
So anyway, they had went to the Red Box and they rented the DVD and they watched the movie in Texas.
Oh.
And I was like, what the frick, paddywag? And then a couple weeks ago, I was up here, like, chit-chatting, whatever, doing my thing. And everyone was downstairs, and they were all watching Raya and the Last Dragon. They didn't even invite me. I don't think I was chit-chatting. I think I was just in my room, like, watching TV. Yeah. And they were just... I was like, what the heck? So it's like, I can't even get to watch it with my family, which I was planning to do in the first place. So I just haven't seen it.
Okay.
And so I'm waiting for it to pop up on the wheel that I do with my friends, where we, like, we pick the movies.
Yeah. Okay, so...
I actually need to check to see if it's on the wheel. I'll
on.
double check. I need to double check.
So then...
I'm gonna be like, yo, is this on the wheel?
Do you want me to talk about this movie then? Or...
I mean... I kind of don't, but...
I could pick a different
unless
movie.
you have another movie prepared. I don't want to, like...
Let me find my... Now I'm like, oh, Mozzie sounds invested, and, like, she really wants to, like, see this movie, and I don't know if I want to spoil it for her. She doesn't want me to. Because the reason I, like, literally opened up the episode that I knew we had talked about the movie I would talk about to listen to it so I could hear. And I don't even say the movie. The only hint, because I was only listening to my audio, the only hint I had was, oh, I watched that on the plane and I have opinions on it.
And you were like,
Raya
the Last Dragon.
Like, which one was it? I don't think it was Donut King. It was probably Raya and the Last Dragon, which it was. Oh, I did watch Jungle Cruise.
How was it?
It was alright.
Okay. I still want to see it.
I was like, I was really excited to see it, and then Jesse and I finally watched it together, and it just, I've never seen a movie feel so manufactured and soulless.
Uh huh.
You know, it was really
Mhm.
flat, and it was like, of course it looked beautiful. Of course you could tell so much like work went into it. The chemistry
Mhm.
between The Rock and Emily Blunt is really good. I did like Emily Blunt's character. Um and there were things in there that I liked, but just overall it just felt so like we made a movie, watch it and make us money. Like it just felt really
Mhm.
I couldn't get into it as much as I wanted to, and I didn't have as
Wanted
much
to.
fun
Yeah.
as I was expecting to have. So I found the experience really flat and disappointing. Like I wouldn't say it's a bad movie, it's just it's a movie.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That makes. Yeah. I mean, that's not too surprising. Like, you're literally. It's literally a movie about a
ride.
ride that doesn't really have a story, and like they hit it, like they really hit it out of the park with like Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Like even the movie Haunted Mansion, though it didn't do well at its time, right now, like it is like a really well liked movie. People love to watch it during Halloween, all that
Mhm.
stuff, you know. So and then they're going in like, okay, we've got all these big names. Dwayne the Rock Johnson always sells,
Yeah.
right? Like we have an adventure, like everyone loves it, right? Like it's like the executives in the studios are like, we need all of this and just put this in the movie, right? So it's like, so it
Yeah.
hits like all those boxes, right? It made sure it made money, it did all this, but it's like, okay, but where's the heart, right? Like there's like
Yeah.
no.
That's what was really missing, that heart factor. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like it's just playing. Like I just felt
Mm-hmm.
no real investment into it. And they had, of course, the stupid, like, I predicted the line for the character revealing he was gay. And it was like, my interest lied, and I was like, elsewhere. And he goes, elsewhere.
Oh,
And I was like, ah.
my interest lies in other things.
Yeah, it was just,
Um, okay.
yeah.
I still want, yeah. Like I'm saying, like I really don't have high hopes for it, but I just want to see it.
Hmm.
Because Disney owns me. Literally owns me now that they freaking. This is just gonna be like a discussion episode. It feels like we're not even. Because that Encanto is so crazy.
Yeah.
How much that character looks like me.
Literally, like if someone wanted to for some reason role play as you somewhere and they had to pick a face claim that wasn't actually your photograph, it would be that. Or if you needed to find like an animated avatar face claim or something for some message board, but you didn't want to use your face and you just wanted to find like an animated character that looked like you, it would be that. Like it is 100,000% looks just like you.
I know.
Even
It's
like the
so.
expressions.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's what my mom is saying. Is like, oh my god, you make that face.
Yeah.
you you make that face. I was like,
Hmm.
no, I don't. And then I did the exact same thing. She was like, what are you talking about?
Plus,
I
also
think yeah,
like
it's really funny.
I've drawn you before because remember we I've
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, you literally draw me
I've
for this
literally drawn
podcast.
you for the podcast, but I've also drawn you for like figure drawing or like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I've drawn your face both realistically and cartoonishly like several times. So I'm like staring at her face and I'm like,
I've drawn
I've
this.
drawn this. Like this is how I would draw Monzi's mouth, or this is how I would draw Monzi's nose or her hair. It's like this is literally like if I had to make a drawing of Monzi, it would look like this. I just put you in a different
Yeah,
outfit, but it was ridiculous.
yeah. I think it's really funny when they released the second trailer,
Mm-hmm.
like not the teaser but the main one. I was like, this isn't me. Like, get this out of here. Like, this isn't me. Like, it's yeah, because it's really weird to me how much she looks like me.
Yeah. Plus, like, even
Um,
the story is such a story that you would write and have literally tried to write before of like someone in like a family where the family has a certain ability or something and this one character doesn't.
mm-hmm.
Like that was literally our Zenith webcomic idea. except
Yeah,
reversed, right? And
in
it was like
reversed.
she doesn't have magic powers in a family full of people with magic powers. This is like a
Yeah.
Monze character and a Monze story and like a Monze this. Like the only thing off is that they're not Mexican, but otherwise it is all Monze.
Yeah, it's so
So
funny. I think it's so funny.
yeah, I think
I
it's
was
really
like, who saw me and was like, this is the face we need for this
funny.
movie that I'm creating?
Someone who
Yeah,
like got lunch at Charlie's a lot was like
one time. And I
they
was like, what do you want?
were like, your face.
They're like, I found her! My muse! But yeah, it's hilarious. They're like, we'll just change her hair. And then I was like, what if I get the exact same haircut months before they release a trailer?
Ugh. Okay, I gotta think of a movie.
I mean, if you can't think of it, we can just do Ryan the Last Dragon. That's no problem.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And we'll do Raya and the Last Dragon. Okay. So, what do you think happens in this movie?
Okay. Ew. I have no idea. I think the idea is that the main character is named Raya,
Yes.
and she's looking for a dragon,
Yes.
and she finds one. It's the last one.
Oh.
Um, I think it's gonna be a bit like Moana in that she's looking for the dragon to like help her island or her family or her country, whatever. She might be a princess. She might not be a princess. And except there's some people. You know what? In the trailer, it's like a bunch of tribes. So maybe it's a bunch of tribes that are trying to do something magical, or like they need a dragon, like scale or blood or magic. I don't know, a dragon feather, to like save their town or their city or their country or something, right? Except there's like a bad guy who wants the dragon for bad, evil things. Like maybe they just want to kill the last dragon. Maybe they're the reason all the dragons are gone because they've been killing all of them.
Oh.
But they've been using like their, I don't know, their blood for evil magic weapons, and I don't know, and so Raya finds Aquafina. And
the actress, not the water bottle.
Yes. And she's like, I need you to like come with me, and like she's been all alone for a long time, and she's like, oh my god, I found like a new best friend. And Raya's like, sure, but she doesn't tell her like exactly what they need her for, right? But like as she's taking her back to her country village, whatever. The bad guy finds him, and then she's like, oh no, this is a bad person. And she's like, what do you mean it's a bad person? And like maybe they attack her, but she's like, oh my god, you're right, they're totally bad. But I can see she like can disguise herself as like a human.
Yeah.
So she like starts disguising herself as a human. Except the bad people are like, well, we've seen her with Raya, so we'll just follow Raya around. And maybe they don't know the dragons can turn into humans, right? And like they get into adventures, and the dragon keeps getting into mischief because they're not used to humans or people or doing things. And then she and Raya, oh, you know what? Maybe they get to the village, and they're like, oh no. No, wait, hold on. I'm trying to find out where I am.
They're at the
in my own
running
thought.
after shenanigans and running away from the
shenanigans. Yes, they get to like the village town, whatever, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you got the dragon." And maybe someone says something like, "Oh, they're gonna hurt you" or something, and the dragon's like, "What are you talking about? We're like best friends." And like maybe somebody does something, like maybe they do, right? Like maybe it is like a scale, so they're trying to grab a scale, and she's like, "Oh my god, you are trying to kill me," right? So she like runs away and escapes, and they're like, "No, dragon, Aquafina." And she runs right into like the bad people, and they're like, "Oh no, did they hurt you? That's terrible. We would never hurt you." And then they like manacle her up. And they're like, just like, oh no, what did I do? I should have trusted Raya. I'm the last dragon. and And then Raya's like, we can't leave her alone or something. And they, like, go chase after her and they rescue her and they kill the bad guy or they just, like, lock him away.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bring the dragon back. They're like, maybe dragons and humans can live in harmony. Like, How to Train Your Dragon. And they're like, yeah! So that's my really bad
Okay.
a movie synopsis.
There are certain things that are correct, certain things that are in the spirit of the film, and certain things that are wrong.
I love that some are like, in the spirit of.
Huh?
I like you say in the spirit of the film.
Yeah, it's like a similar characterization or similar themes or whatever,
Okay.
but not quite how you were describing it.
Mm.
And then there's some things where it's like, no, that doesn't happen at all. Okay, I shared the link with you. Let me know when you start watching it.
I'm pulling it up.
Remember.
All right, yeah, play.
And don't trust anyone.
Both
What are we
are.
looking for?
Hey, baby. Where are your parents? Hey, who's baby? What? Really?
Oh no! You just said don't trust anyone. I've never seen this trailer.
I've never seen this trailer. You know what? I don't think I've seen a trailer.
Impressive.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a trailer either.
Maybe a teaser.
Let's catch you up. My name is Raya. Our lands have been at war for as long as we can.
Hi, Raya.
Our people never see eye to eye.
Okay.
My daughter, I believe our people can come together again, but someone has to take the first step.
Now,
Her dad is hot.
peace. We must find the last dragon.
I wish to join the fellowship of
Oh, look at that. Bad guy.
We'll have to watch our backs. We're not the only ones looking. 6 years of searching. Please let this be it. Oh, my DT2. Who's that guy? We really need your help.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not like the best dragon. Have you ever done like a group project, but there's like that one kid who didn't pitch in as much, but still ended up with the same grade?
Yeah. Oh my god.
You and the dragon are coming with me.
I like how there's school in this world. Oh. Wow, two hot ladies fighting. I love it. Raya's so cool. I love her. I'm in love with her. I want to marry her right now.
Maybe it's broken.
And we're gonna adopt that con baby.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to take the first step.
I love the world.
I just shape change. Dragons can do that? Look how close my butt is to my head. It's gonna make digestion so much faster.
in theaters or ordered on Disney Plus with Premier Access.
I like her purple hair. March
Alright.
5th.
So do you want to adjust any of your...
Oh no, does she have siblings? Oh no, spoilers!
Well, how did you
Um,
see if she had siblings or not?
It was the next video that was
Oh.
up next.
Oh no.
So now I know she's not the last dragon. Huge disappointment. Oh my god, I've been lied to. Disney. Okay. So Raya is a warrior princess. I don't know if she's a princess, but that's the best way to describe her.
Mhm.
She is looking for a dragon for some reason, because somehow only a dragon can unite all of the islands. That super hot lesbian is the bad guy. Look at, yeah. She's constantly fighting people. She's like super cynical, and the dragon is like, wow, the which will get annoying to Raya very quickly. um, and then she defeats the evil lesbian, and she's like, "Why can't we all just get together?" Wink, wink, and and um, and everybody lives happily ever after. But still, there's a lot of shenanigans.
Okay.
Um,
I feel like that's a more general synopsis. That's pretty close.
yeah, I mean, based on what I
Yeah,
saw,
yeah, yeah.
right?
I know. I was like, this trailer's giving away quite a lot. All right, so plot time.
Let me
So
take
they
off my
all
socks.
live in this Southeast Asian inspired fictitious land called
Okay.
Kumandra. And everything's fine until suddenly, a long time ago, the
The Fire
Droon,
Nation.
which is this horrible, evil spirit thing that can turn you into stone, and changes your posture to look like this, starts attacking everybody. And they're like, oh no, what is this? And it's just like this big ball of energy that once it gets to you, you turn into stone. Um,
Okay.
so this was a land before where like people and dragons live together. But then the
Mm-hmm.
Droon is out attacking everybody, and they can turn dragons to stone too. So the dragons are like trying to fight them, but they're all getting turned to stone. And then finally, one last dragon has like all this magic into like this gem and banishes the Droon. So it revives all the people, but not the dragons. So the dragons don't come back to life. Only the people do. So now there's no more dragons because this dragon like vanished. So now
Mm-hmm.
all that's left is the gem, and now everybody wants this dragon gem because they're like, this will protect us from the Droon, and now I want it. It's the last thing we have that is like dragon, blah 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 blah. So there's like this power struggle, and then now everyone gets divided into like these 5 tribes, and they're called Fang, Heart, Spine, Talon, and Tail, based on where
I like
they
the way
are.
you're like.
Yeah, this part I really don't like. Like, I'm like, Fang, really? Okay, whatever. But it's like, it's based on where they are on this dragon shaped river. So that's,
Okay.
yeah. So that's why they're called that. So then, 500 years after this happens, Chief Benja of the Heart Tribe, which has the dragon gem, has been protecting it, trains his daughter Raya to protect the gem. So they've been like, for somehow it got into the Heart Tribe, and they've just been tasked with protecting the gem. And he thinks that Kumandra can be reunited, so he holds a feast inviting everyone, like the leadership from all 5 tribes, to come
Okay.
over as like a sign of good faith and everything. Um, and but you can tell tensions are kind of high. Like everyone's like, why did you invite us here? A lot of people think that Heart is only doing well because they have the gem, and they think if
Of
they had the
course.
gem then they would be doing
Mm.
better, etc., etc. During the feast, Raya befriends, this is when she's a child, she befriends Namari, who is the hot lesbian.
Nice.
She's the daughter of Chief Varana of the Fang tribe, and Namari gives Raya this dragon pendant because they're both bonding over dragons and all that stuff. They both have single parents, and they're like, wow, we're so much in common. And she's like, here, let me give you this necklace in the shape of a dragon. Let me tell you about this legend that says that the dragon still exists and you can bring her back. Um, so Raya's like, okay, well, you showed me something and gave me something, and I trust you, so I'm going to show you where the gem
Oh
is.
no. Oh
So
no!
these 2 8-year-olds go over, and she like shows her where the gem is because earlier that day she had like done this whole thing that reveals like she knows how to get there, so she knows how to avoid all the traps and everything. So she shows her where it is, but then
Right.
Namari's like,
Fool.
yeah, Namari's like, wow, thank you. And then it reveals there's a whole plot by Fang to steal the gem, of course. So she like betrays her. And Raya's like, oh my god, what? But I trusted you. And Namari's like, oh
We were
well.
best friends. We knew each other for 10 whole
Yep.
minutes.
So then Benja and the other tribes come over, and then they all start fighting over the gem because they were like, oh, Fang wanted to get it, now we are going to get it, blah, 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 blah. And he's trying to protect it, but then the gem breaks, and it breaks into 5 pieces. And because it broke, the Droon come back. So everyone steals a piece of the gem, and the Droon wakes up, and it basically, like, there's no one there to stop it anymore. So it just like completely annihilates Hart. Raya's dad has like an injured leg. Oh, and the only thing that will stop the Droon from getting to you is the water.
Okay.
So Raya's father like throws her over the bridge into the water, like into the river below them. And he gets caught by the Droon and turned to stone. So she's like, no. So
Papa.
so the next 6 years, Raya is now trying to find Sisu the dragon to get the dragon to create another gem and banish the Droon once more. Because at this point, the Droon has like basically decimated like
Yeah,
90,
everyone.
ninety-five
Yeah.
percent of the whole population. And she like comes across people who have been like turned to stone or whatever, and et cetera, et cetera. And the only thing that will keep it away is like a shard of the gem or water. So
Mm-hmm.
she's been like searching and searching and searching and searching, and she's at like the last place, which is at the shipwreck in Tail. So she like does this whole ritual and she's like, please let this be it. She does a ritual and then lo and behold,
Mm-hmm.
Sisu the dragon comes to life. And she's like, oh, I'm back. But she starts talking as if she had just like what she had just done
Just
had
did.
just
Yeah.
happened. She hasn't realized
Yeah.
she's been out for like 506 years. So Raya's telling her like, "Hey, we need your help again. It's been 500 years." And also Sisu's like looking for where her siblings are, and Raya's like, "No one came back. You're the only like no none of the dragons came back. You're actually the only one that I've even seen, and I just brought you back." So Sisu's like, "Oh, okay." And Raya's like, "Can you make the gem again? Because I only have this one piece, and we really need the gem to banish the Droon." And Sisu's like, "Okay, well, about that, I didn't make the gem. My siblings created the gem. I just held the gem and like had
Yeah.
it happen." So that's where she has her whole like group project piece. So she's like, everybody has their own piece of magic, and Raya's like, "What do you do?" And Sisu's like, "I'm a really good swimmer."
So basically, super talented.
Yeah. So she's like, okay. And then Raya kind of has Sisu like touch the gem or whatever, and Sisu gains like a little piece of magic. And it's
Mm-hmm.
the shape shifting magic. And she's like, oh, my sibling, blah, 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 was able to shape change, and now I have her magic now. So she's kind of like absorbing the magic through the gem. So they're like, okay, maybe if we get the other four pieces of the gem, you will have all the magic that created the gem in the first place, and then you can
Yeah.
create it and
Made a
yada
new
yada
one.
yada.
Yep.
Yeah. So Cece's like, okay, cool, let's do that. I don't have a problem with that. So they're trying to leave, and then Namari shows up, and she's like, "Thanks for leading us over to this and this." But like Sisu's in like the in
Human
human
form.
form, and Raya's like, "Guess what, Namari? I found the dragon. She's right here. This is this." But Namari like doesn't believe her. And for some reason Sisu doesn't shape change to be like, "Yeah, here I am." So they like escape. And so now Raya's like, okay, we got to go through everywhere. So let's go. Where do they go? They go to like Spine, I think, or Talon. They're like going back up. So I think they go to Spine
Okay.
first, because they're in Tail and they have the heart piece. Oh no, I think they stay in Tail. I don't remember. They're going through the things,
Okay.
and they're going through the market, and Cece's like, oh, maybe I should be like a dragon, and Raya's like, no, you need to stay like in your human form. If everyone knows that there's a dragon, I don't know. Like I've seen what they would do over a dragon gem. I don't know what they would do over a dragon. So
Mm-hmm.
Raya's like, you need to stay human to protect yourself and protect the mission, whatever. They come across like this boat kid, and he like he like sells dumpling soup or whatever, and he has like a boat, and he's all by himself because his family got taken by the Droon, but since he's on the boat, he's like in the water, so he's
Yeah.
safe. So he's like charging them. He's like, "Oh, do you want food? I can give you food. If you want this, like you gotta charge me, whatever." And Raya just has money because she's a warrior princess, so she's like, "Okay, here." Um, but she doesn't tell him who Sisu is or anything like that. And Sisu like wants to keep swimming, and Raya's like, "You need to like stay human. He can't know." Blah 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 blah. So they get to the next place, and
Okay.
Sisu keeps being like, because they're like, "Oh, we need to find like this next gem," and Sisu's like, "What if we bring them a gift?" And she's like, no, that's not going to work. And she's like, oh, come on. Like, back then, we always just gave each other gifts and then we just talked to them and yada, yada, yada. And Raya's like, no, I don't trust these people. And Sisu's like, okay, whatever. And Raya's like, just stay on the boat. But then Sisu, like, leaves because Raya's, like, trying to find the thing. And then she meets the con baby and the monkey is who, like, steal her gems. So now she's running after them. And Sisu's going around and she's just like, how do I buy this thing if I don't have any money? And they're like, oh, you can just put it on credit. So she's like, okay. So she's just going on this whole she's
Oh
going on this whole shopping spree, like, can I get this? It's on credit. Can I get this? It's on credit. So she's walking around with all this stuff to like give as a gift to someone. She's like, it's on credit. People are like, you haven't paid for any of this and we don't know you. You don't have credit here. And she's like, so they're like after her. But then this old lady is like, oh, you're new here. Come with me. And Cece's like, okay, sure. And she's like, oh, we're trying to like talk to somebody about, and she's like telling her what they're trying to do. And then the old lady turns out to be like, she's like, oh yeah, if you want to meet like the head person of this town, I'll take you to them. So she like leads Sisu to like this gate on like the edge of town and opens it. And you see the person who had the gem like there with holding the gem. He's like dead. He's turned to stone or whatever with
mm.
the thing. And she's like, what? And she's like, yeah, now we have this piece of gem, but I heard that you have a piece or two, so now we want it from you, and if you don't give it to us, I'm just gonna leave you out here. So now Raya has to like save her and everything. So
Of
they manage to
course.
get the other piece of thing, but then they have to leave. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. And Sisu's like, why are people like this? And Raya's like, we don't trust each other. That's what it is. And Sisu's like, oh, this is so weird. Um, so the next
Why do
place,
I hate each
I know,
other?
but now they have the con baby joining them. So
Okay.
then they go to the next place, which is like the warrior place. I think this one is fine. I don't remember. Anyways, so they go to the next place and it's like this really scary, like they live in like the snowy woods or something like that.
Okay.
And this one guy like captures them. He's like the big guy, and he's like, "Oh, I've got you here," blah 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 blah. But there's like no one in the village anymore. Like the whole village is basically like wiped out, and he's lost like his wife and his like kid, and he has a soft spot for the con baby because he's like, I haven't seen a baby in so long, and like he has a crib in his house, so it's like, oh, he like
So
lost a
depressing.
baby,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So he like really likes this baby, and at one point he's like they kind of tell, I think, how do they convince him to their side? I don't remember, but he's like, okay, yeah, I'll help you. Um, and let's see, then they get that gem as well. And then Namari's been following them the whole time because
Mm-hmm.
she's like, let's get all the gem shards and blah 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 blah. Um, But then Sisu reveals herself as a dragon to save
Mm-hmm.
Raya from Namari at Spine. So like Raya and Namari are fighting and they're trying to like get the others to like leave with Sisu, but then Sisu's like, "Oh my god, Raya's about to die." So then she shows up as like a dragon and she uses like
Yeah.
her frosting or whatever. And Namari sees her and she's like, "Oh my god," and like is overcome because like dragons are like gods at this point. No one has seen one. So like everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit." And then Raya's companions are like, why didn't you tell us that she was a dragon? And Raya was like, I didn't trust you guys, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, but she's a dragon.
I get it, but look, dragon.
Yeah. Um, so they're like, okay, well, we'll help you now that we like fully know the plan and everything. We're gonna go help you go to Fang and like get the thing. Um, so when they get to Fang, which is where Namari's from, Namari also goes to her mother and she's like, "Oh my god, mom, Raya actually found the dragon. Like the dragon's real." And they're trying to collect all the gems together so that they can banish the Droon. And the mom's like, okay, well, we can't help them. We need to get the dragon in our possession. We need to be the one getting the dragon to save everybody because everyone blames us for bringing the Droon back. So if we look like we're the ones who brought the dragon back and banished the Droon, then people won't hate us when things are back to normal. That's what the
Mm.
mom is saying. So Namari's like, okay, I guess. So when they get to Fang, Sisu is like telling Raya, like, listen, you can't live your life not trusting people. That's not a way to go. what if we try to like talk to Namari to like help us instead of trying to steal the piece of the gem? So Raya's like, okay, we'll try your plan. So they do that, and then Raya like returns the pendant that Namari gave her, and Namari's like, meet me here, blah 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 blah, and she's like, okay. So they like meet up, and then Namari's like, I'm sorry, I wish I could help you, but I have a duty to my kingdom. I have to help my kingdom out. So she's like threatening them with a crossbow or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sisu's like, okay, let me try to calm Namari down. So she's in her dragon form. She's like, listen, I know that you want to help us. I know you want to do what's good. If you just help us right now, everything's gonna be fine. But then
Mm-hmm.
Raya is like, oh my god, this isn't gonna end well. And so she like attacks Namari with her sword, but then
Of
Namari
course.
pulls the trigger on the crossbow because she's surprised. And then the arrow hits Sisu, and then Sisu dies and falls to the water. And they're like, oh no.
No.
And then Sisu's death causes all the water to disappear. Because I guess that was her thing.
She's
So,
a water dragon.
yeah, because she was like hiding.
She's more than just a good swimmer.
She's a water dragon. I guess she must have been hiding in the water, which is why the Droon were like, okay, no. So
Mm.
now the Droon are coming over to like totally take over everything, and Raya is like so big mad at Namari, and Namari is
Big
like
man?
big mad, and Namari's like, now my mom is turned to stone, so they are just like, let's end this. So they're just fighting each other while Raya's companions are using their gem pieces to like evacuate people out. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
they're a
They're
lost
fighting while
cause.
these children and this old guy are like
Yeah, they're like,
saving the world technically.
literally, they're like, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting. Just come with us. So they're trying to
Claws
evacuate.
out. Let's go save everyone.
Hold my earring. Um, so they're like trying to evacuate everybody, and then Raya like defeats her and is about to kill Namari, but then Namari's like, okay, you can do
Damn.
whatever the fuck you want with me, but this is also your fault too. Um, and
Yeah.
Raya's like, oh shit, you right.
Oh my god, I think you're right.
So then Raya and Namari finally come to their senses and they go to help the others. So now there's the five of them with the thing, but the Droon are gaining in on them and they're like back to back, like just barely heating them off. And then Raya remembers the story that Sisu told her when Raya was like, how'd you save the world? And Sisu was like, let me tell you a story. So, like, all my siblings, I didn't know what the plan was, but I trusted them. So they all made the thing. They gave it to me, told me what to do, and I just did it. Like, I didn't know it would work. I didn't know what would or wouldn't work. I just trusted them because they're my siblings and I trust them. So Raya's like, okay, we have to trust each other. We need to just combine the gems together, so they all have to let go of the
Of
pieces
their
of the
piece, yeah.
gems, and they one by one turn to stone while they're giving up their pieces of the gem. And like everyone is doing like the pose except
Mm-hmm.
for like one of the people is like hugging onto somebody or whatever, and I'm like, why didn't their pose change? But whatever. So they're all doing that, and then I think Namari is like the last one standing. So they're like, Namari, we trust you. So they give her all the pieces, and then she puts them all together. So she like manages to like assemble the gem together right before the Droon petrifies her. But then the dragon gem is put together again, and then the Droon all go away. And then you get the dramatic, like, oh, the magic is working and the petrified people aren't petrified anymore. Um, but this time the dragons come back somehow.
Mm.
So all the siblings come back and then they resurrect Sisu. So she comes back to life too. And she's like, yeah, my brothers and sisters are here. And then the group reunites with all their loved ones. So Raya finds her father. And then the tribes gather at heart to actually reunify as Kamandra. And yeah, that's the movie.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Uh, I do like that Raya is very cynical.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very different than any other sort of Disney female character we've had
Yeah.
in that way. I like that she is pretty badass, that she's just fighting people.
Yeah.
Just constantly fighting everyone. I love, because I constantly want to fight people, but I like the skill, I like the training, I like the strength,
But you don't lack the passion.
but I don't lack the passion. And I think really fighting is 95% passion,
I agree with you.
4% skill,
1%
and 1%
concentrated something
like pizzazz,
in will.
like the flair, like the dramatic, the theater of
the
it
presentation.
all. The presentation. 1% is presentation.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just missing that 4%, but that 4% is a lot. That 4% is really holding me back. So. Okay, yeah, it wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be like at all, I think.
Yeah. There are certain elements that you like got right, like Raya or not Raya, Sisu being pretty naive and very trusting, and like woo, like that was pretty accurate. But the actual story, like in spirit, was kind of correct, but not quite exactly. So
yeah. Yeah, I had no idea what this movie was about. No idea. No clue.
Yeah.
No clue. So yeah. Huh. Okay. I mean, I still need to watch it.
Yeah.
And I will give my final verdict. But,
Yeah.
It was interesting. I do like that even the villain is a lady.
Yeah.
I like that. I can't believe she was evil as a child. But you know what? You gotta start somewhere. You don't just wake up one day and are like, I'm gonna be evil. It's like somewhere, somehow in your past, it like it starts.
Yeah.
You don't just start punching babies out of nowhere. Like there was something in your childhood, perhaps, that led to the moment where you just start punching babies. I know that didn't happen in this movie, but I was trying to think of a bad thing.
I mean,
and apparently that's what I fell upon.
That's the moral of Cruella. So clearly, Disney is continuing that that idea. I know for me, like, I know that you like that the villain was also a woman, but I feel like whenever the protagonist is a woman, the villain is 90% of the time a woman as well, and I actually find it annoying. I'm like,
is that true?
I've noticed, like, Wonder Woman, the second one for sure, the villain is a woman.
The second one. I've only seen the first one.
In the first one, I know Ares is like the big bad, which I was like, oh, good, finally she's fighting a guy. But the other villain was a woman. In Agent Carter, she's fighting women. This one, it's a woman. In Cruella, the villain was a woman. And then whenever you have like a mixed group, the woman always fights the other woman.
Oh yeah, that I know.
But
that I'm always
but in
like,
films, yeah, I've noticed.
Huh, I never noticed that.
It's something that I started noticing like a year or two ago, and I was like, I'm finding this annoying. And then like Captain Marvel, there was a male character that was kind of like a side villain, but the main villain she had to fight took the form of a woman. So it was like,
I don't remember Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
At all.
I bet the villain is a woman in Black Widow.
Black Widow. No.
Is it a man?
Have you not seen Black Widow?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, remind me, because I'm going to forget. Remind me to do that movie.
Okay, because I do want to see that movie, but I don't mind knowing what happened. But yeah, I've noticed.
That was what we talked about that last time, was that you were going to do Raya and I was going to do Black Widow.
Well, you were actually going to do The Mummy, but you can do Black Widow too. Yeah, because I still haven't seen that movie.
Okay,
yeah. But, it's certainly something that I've noticed where they pit the woman against another woman like 9 out of 10 times. Which, yeah, I personally find kind of annoying. And they certainly do that, like we already established. Whenever it's a mixed group, the girl always fights the girl. And I'm like, why? Why? I don't... Why? Like, I bet if they ever do a woman James Bond, her villain's gonna be a woman. I would bet money on it. And if she had a franchise, out of 4 films, 3 of her villains would be women and one would be a man. I would bet money on it. Um, so yeah,
You know, women aren't allowed to fight men. There are overlords.
yeah. Well, they're
I
just.
say this every day. Every day I go and I go, yes,
Well, I guess
sir.
technically with Wonder Woman, Pedro Pascal is the villain, but she still fights another woman, which is Kristen Wiig's character.
Mm.
So it's just, I feel like they're trying to frame it as girl boss versus girl boss or whatever, but it just feels like pitting women against each other, which is an
Mm.
already pre-existing trope. They're just trying to frame it as empowering. And I'm like, I don't have a problem with women villains. That's fine. But I would like some variety.
Mm. Yeah, I don't really notice.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. But anyways, and then I liked Raya being cynical was fine, but I actually found it really frustrating in the film because
Mm-hmm.
Sisu kept saying, "Let me just be a dragon and people will help you." And she kept saying no. And I get she's traumatized and I get she has trust issues, but I couldn't see the logic because dragons are like deified in this universe. They treat
Mm-hmm.
them like gods. And this whole place, no one has seen a dragon in 500 years and everyone is suffering over it. That's why they are clamoring for this dragon pearl. So I didn't understand why she would be so like I guess I could see why she would be so against letting people see the dragon, but it was really frustrating because it felt like such an easy solution to all the problems they were facing. Because I was like, I bet if she just revealed it was a dragon right then and there and Namari saw her, she'd be like, oh, like in the very beginning, she'd be like, oh my god, like there's a dragon here. You actually did it. What are you trying to do again? Then it might be a little different. Or like if she's just showing the dragon to the different places, like we need the gem because we're trying to get rid of the Droon. Like it would force you to work together at that point because there is a dragon back. Like what do you have to gain by killing the dragon? You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I found that kind of frustrating to watch because I kept thinking if you just tell people you literally found the dragon, they would help you.
Uh-huh.
But I guess that was the point or it was the lesson, but it was still frustrating for me to watch. But there were other emotional beats that I think hit really well. I wouldn't say it was a bad movie. It was just a little frustrating of a watch for me
Mm-hmm.
personally. So,
Okay.
yeah. It just felt like it just felt like apples to oranges, and she was trying to say no, these are both the same thing. I saw what they did with the gem, imagine what they might do to you. And I'm like, no, 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 no. The gem was the last remaining piece of something they no longer had. The dragon is an agent of free will who can do whatever she wants, and now it is back, and everyone knows a dragon would help put the gem together and but then if you do that, you don't really have the long movie anymore. So I
Mm.
just wish they had come up with a stronger motivation for for that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I just found it a little. It was just like there's this problem throughout the
I
whole
mean, there could
movie.
also be the fear, right, that like they'll just try to keep the dragon
Yeah,
and not like so we'll just protect our village or whatever, our tribe. You
yeah, but
know.
if the dragon puts the gem together, it would save everybody.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think she's thinking that no one's thinking about everyone else,
Yeah,
right? Like it's about because that's what their tribes have become. Is that they
yeah.
just become like insular, I guess.
Yeah. Like I could see that, but I'm also looking at look, it doesn't matter which tribe is the one that has the dragon and is putting the gems together. You got to put your pride aside and be like, okay, maybe it won't be
Mm-hmm.
at heart, maybe it'll be at tail, or maybe it'll be here or whatever. Because at some point, if everyone's arguing about who gets to have the dragon to put the gem together, then it's like someone is going to say, listen, it doesn't fucking matter. The Droon are here. We just need to make it happen. We'll just find a neutral place, put it together, and then like but like I could see why she would have these trust issues, but it also just logically,
You were just frustrated.
yes, I'm like, listen, you could solve your problem by just doing this one thing, by being honest. Like with Aladdin, when you're watching it and you're like, literally, Jasmine would still be into you regardless of what your class would be.
Yeah, because he's hot.
Yeah. And then, like, he keeps creating problems for himself. And it's like, if you were just honest, like, I felt like the genie, like, tell her the truth. I'm like,
Be yourself.
yeah. But those are my thoughts on
Okay.
the film after seeing it on the airplane. So.
Seeing it on the airplane.
Yeah, but otherwise it was fine. I found the Con baby a little annoying because I find baby characters a little annoying.
You're not a fan of Boss Baby?
I've never seen it.
Have you seen Storks?
Yes, I really like storks.
Yeah, I haven't seen Boss Baby, but I have seen Storks. That baby is so cute.
The baby
I
is
love
not
baby.
my favorite character though. The stork is my favorite character.
No, yeah, I love the stork.
Oh,
Like,
he's so funny. I just
yeah, I love the stork. When he's like,
so,
he's like,
cool. Oh, I really like that movie. I also saw that movie on a plane. I really enjoyed myself.
yeah. I just think the baby is like super cute in that
Yeah.
movie.
The baby's pretty cute. Oh, the pigeon.
Yeah, Storks is hilarious.
The...
He goes.
Chaw.
His voice. Yeah.
I
The
mean,
really
I don't know.
He's so dumb.
Whatever. It's so funny. There's this commercial, I think it's for Progressive or for Geico, where the girls are being like, what do you want to do today? And she's like, I don't know, what do you want to do today? Let's go shopping. And like, that's how they talk. I'm like, that's how the pigeon talk.
I know, the pigeon is so...
Oh. Yeah. No, that's a good movie. That poor stork. He's been through so much.
I know, I was like, that poor stork.
But yeah, that's how I feel. But overall, like, it was a fine movie. It felt very much like, guys, we have to work together. We have to trust people. But then also Sisu is like, okay, babe, come on. You also can't be that nice. You got no street smart.
No street smarts.
Like, we need something in the middle here. Like, we got someone who's trusting everybody, and then we got someone who's trusting nobody. And it's like, none of this is healthy. You need something in the middle. So, yeah. But I did understand the lesbian's mother's, like, whole frame of mind. I was like, okay, that I understand. Like, the whole, like, we can't help them because everyone's gonna get mad at us because they'll blame us. So we need the dragon in our place. I'm like, okay, that I get. That is, like, a weird motivation, but I understand it from a political standpoint, But everything else is just like, damn, girl, 6 years. And you're still like, no. No one can have my dragon. And then I was so mad when she got so angry at Namari, and I'm like, bitch, you attacked her. It's your fault she pulled the trigger on the arrow. You're over here like telling her she's an awful person and she's evil and you hate her and you're trying to kill her. And I'm like, this is your fault too. If you hadn't lunged after her and just, which was the whole point of the movie. But I was just like mentally like, girl. And then when Namari was like, this is also your fault, I was like, yes, finally, someone said it. The movie has said it.
Someone said it.
Yeah. But overall, it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I would rate the movie like a 3 out of 5. What would you rate it?
Yeah, probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to watch it.
Yeah. It's a good watch. I don't regret watching it. It just... It's just not my favorite Disney movie, and I found it a little bit disappointing, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I wouldn't call it a bad movie.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. it seemed very apropos for what was going on current event wise. It's like, oh
I
no,
We all just need to get along.
the Drune is like the pandemic, and the gems are like getting vaccinated and wearing
I
masks.
mean, if you want to like compare the movie to real life, no one would work together.
Yeah.
So everyone would be like, "No, I don't care about you. I've got my gem."
Yeah, on that part, I thought that was fine. Like, I thought how people reacted towards the gem made sense. I thought them hoarding the gems for themselves made sense. I thought that all made a lot of sense. But I'm like, come on, it's a dragon. This would be like if Jesus Christ himself, or like an alien, or like something that we like,
Jesus or an
or
alien.
like Steve Irwin somehow came back to life, and people were
Only.
like, let's hide him and not show him to anybody because it's like, no, 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 maybe Jesus, but like maybe an alien, but not Steve Irwin. Like, no.
Why would you hide Steve Irwin if he came back to life? Jesus, I understand. An alien? Yeah, that too. But Steve Irwin?
You know what I mean? Like, or just like if they know, everyone knows the dragons are what helped them from the Droon last time. Everyone does. There's no conflicting feelings on dragons. There's not a group
About,
of
yeah.
people that are like, "Oh, I hate dragons." That would make
I
sense.
hate dragons. I'm
Everyone,
anti-dragons.
everyone worships them. So I'm like, why are you hiding this? It's selfish, I feel, to hide it. But again, it's like, okay, I guess she's got trust issues. But it was just, to me, it just seemed so crystal clear that you should have just shared knowledge of her with the world. But what do I know?
Nothing.
Nothing. So, anyways, if you've seen Raya and the Last Dragon, let us know. Let us know your thoughts down below. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Say hi, George.
and hi, George. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye bye bye
Bye.
bye 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 bye.